So, hello and welcome to the TNF1 World Championship. We are here for the F2 category at Germany. We might see that we're a bit late. That's because of some people can't join the lobby and everything like that, so gave them a good amount of time to they haven't sorted out, so we're just gonna get going. So this morning we have quite a small field compared to all the last time. I think we only have about, I don't know, 2, 4, 6, 8, about 9 drivers this morning. Yeah, Germany, one of those tracks where it's quite notorious for rain, and it's one of those tracks where it rains and it looks like it's dry. It's one of those tracks where it's more likely to rain than others, I should say. So I think we have Eduardo is coming out first. So we've seen him. I think only the past only in 2 races from his return, and I don't think he's had very good results. I think only copping a couple points in the last round. If he is out first, no, that's not him out. I think that's Banana Josh. No, that's Banana Josh. So only 9 drivers today. We'll have to see a weather report to see if it's raining in the race or not. And it does look quite dark and gloomy in qualifying, so we'll have to wait and see if there might be a little bit of rain during qualifying. There we go, we got another Yevgeny has joined. I think that might be our weather report. So it's rain 10 minutes into qualifying, and it apparently is dry throughout the whole entire race. As we see Banana Josh starting his flying lap now, coming down the back straight, flicking over the DRS. Oh, sorry, it's 5 minutes from now, this rain. So the drivers will all want to be banking in their laps now if they want to get a shot at that pole position, unless or otherwise the rain can what's the word? Stop that, actually. Oh, he's had a big off coming into the last sector. He's gone into the gravel trap, so that will stop his lap completely. And I think, who's next? I think it's Robin, who was actually, I think he's second in the championship at the moment, or he is our championship points leader. I'll have a look at the moment. As he comes to finish his first flying lap, he's 11.8, so that's not a bad lap there from Robin. So that's put him about 2.2 seconds ahead of Matthew and the Renault, but yeah, that's a decent lap from him. Oliver goes P2 with a 12.2. I'm just going to check standings here. No, yeah, so Robin actually leads the championship by 5 points over Amar, who's actually not racing now, and so we can actually see that rain is starting to come down at the moment. So these guys will want to be getting their laps in, and it actually looks like a couple of people have opted for the ultra softs. And knowing Germany, the ultra soft is not the best tyre to be on at the start of the race, so I might want to be doing 2 stops if you do start on the ultras, but softs to mediums is the optimal strategy to go. Yeah, so it goes from Robin to Amar, who's actually not in the racing anymore, but he's still in the championship standings. Then it goes to Ludwig, and then Albert, and then it goes to Alex, who actually had a win at Belgium, but he didn't race last weekend, so that's bumped him back a bit. And yeah, I think it's yeah, Ferrari still ahead in the constructors by 3 points over McLaren, and then Mercedes 29 points behind McLaren. Sector 1, Sector 2, that'll just be letting through, won't it? I think but none Josh, oh no, it's Eduardo who's finishing his lap. He did a 15.8 on the ultras. I don't think that'll be a proper lap time, or if he's just getting a feel for the track, but I don't know. So Albert will want to be thinking about coming out now, because this rain will get heavier and the track will get slower, so if he's not coming out, and I can't send anyone of that. I'm just gonna have to get yeah, so we can already see this track is getting a bit damp. Yeah, as you can see, is Eduardo sliding his way through the last sector. That's what I'm saying for Albert. This won't be the best time to be staying in the pits, and if he hasn't come out, then that's a bit of a worry, because it will affect your race. Oh, that's right. Albert just told me at a quality ban race. I remember from last weekend. Sorry there, mate. Bernard Josh is a 26.8, so that is definitely not compared to the lap time, but I think he'll be restarting to go for another run, if I'm not correct. He will want to be going for another run. As Robin's actually retired, because he won't be going want to be going for another lap. As Bernard Josh puts in the fence, and you can really see these guys do not want to be going out again. As we only have 2 more drivers who can actually run. Actually, 3 more drivers who can run. And I think from Ethan, there was an incident between him and Banana Josh. And I think we might actually finish qualifying before the actual session's meant to end, by the looks of it. So yeah, these guys not wanting to put in another lap for practice, I should say, but there's actually, yeah, Ethan's coming out in the inters because he hasn't actually gotten a lap yet. Yeah, so that's actually not bad from him, saying that he did a lap on the soft tire, because he will have a fresh set for the race. So that's actually quite unfortunate for Ethan. So yeah, Robin getting his lap time in at a really good time actually. So he's good P1, P2 will be Oliver. I think that might actually be his best qualifying result of the season for Oliver. Only 4 tenths behind Robin on the softs, and then there's Matthew P3, another 8 tenths behind Oliver, and then there's March on the ultras, Alex on the softs, Eduardo on the ultras, and then Banana Josh on the softs as well, and then Ethan will be going on the inters, and Albert is a quali band, so he would just want to be getting a lap in so he can get ahead of Albert in the race. Of course, those two will be starting on fresh softs or whatever tyre they want to start on. I think he might have invalidated it actually, because that corner is quite notorious for running wide and invalidating. I think this will be his last lap. I wouldn't expect him to do another lap on the inters, but we're getting underway for the race. It's quite around 5 minutes before expected, but as he comes across the line, he does a 22.2, but he does go ahead of Banana Josh. Yeah, so he's retired, and then Albert actually will need to come out of the pits and go on track, so then his setup can get on his car, but he hasn't done that. So we'll have to see if he's running a default. So you do need to come out of the pits, and so your setup can get on for the race. And he hasn't done that, but we're getting underway 5 minutes before I was expecting. So we're gonna leave a couple guys starting on the ultras. And then we have Albert and Ethan starting on fresh softs, which will be quite nice for them, but down the order a little bit, but I'm sure they'll try and claw their way back up. So only one man into the 111s this morning, but Oliver not too far behind him. It looks like at the moment Oliver is really only contested for Robin at the moment. Yeah, so unlike qualifying at the start, it is quite grey and cloudy, but they've said that there's no rain during the race, but yeah. So we're just going to wait for everyone to ready up, and as if everyone does finish, we will see everyone get a point, or at least some points. Obviously I don't think Eduardo scored, or he might have scored a couple points, but Josh only scoring a couple points as well. So, the starting grid, we have Robin Kreft, who's on pole position once again, Oliver Coleman, then we have a Renault of Matthew, March, Alex in P5, Eduardo in P6, Ethan in P7, Joshua Law in P8, and then we have Albert Ramirez Garcia P9, who finishes off the grid. So we do have quite a small grid today, but yeah. I'm just gonna go and get to the party real quick, see if someone wants to commentate with me, but I don't know if they will or not. Alright, so the driver's getting their tyres up to temp. Obviously, really crucial for the race start if they want to get a good launch off a line. If you do have cold tyres, you will wheel spin quite a lot, and it will affect your race start. But yeah. So as we build up to the 5-row lights for the German Grand Prix, Robin on pole. It's lights out, but we're going to hold again, like we always do. And it's lights out and away we go. Looks like Robin's got a good start. Looks like Matthew's got a decent start in the Renault. He's already up the gearbox of Oliver in P2. As Oliver is sped off into the fence out of turn 1. And it looks like everything else has gotten away cleanly. Robin's got a second gap already. And then that's put the Renault of Matthew up into P2. And you can see the frustration of Oliver there, instantly leaving the session. But Alex has had a good start. He's gone from P6 to P3 at the start. Or P5 to P3 at the start. March up to P4, and there's a virtual safety car on lap 1. So everyone has to be reducing their speed to clear up, so the marshals can clear up the debris, because that was a massive shunt from Oliver into just out of turn 1. He just lost the rear end and it went spiring into the fence. So that's quite unlucky for Oliver, but Robin will be rubbing his hands together, knowing that he's got less threats on his hands. Apparently he lost it on the curb, which is actually, the curb can throw you off quite a bit, and the virtual safety car's gone, and then Robin's gone as well. He's already got a 1.5 second gap, and extending that corner can give you a few warnings, so they have to be watching out for that. As actually Alex and March are having quite a bit of a scrap here for P3, coming down the back straight. Obviously DRS isn't activated until lap 3, so March will just be having to hang it back a little bit for now, and we'll just have to see. I think he might be going for a little bit of a lunge here and into the hairpin, and it looks like he might have run it. He's actually run horrendously deep, so he tucks back in behind Alex once again. Albert's gotten up to P6 from P9 on the grid. He's hunting down Banana Josh at the moment, with Eduardo just behind him. Who do we have next? Actually, Matthew's staying in, he's actually closed the gap from 1.5 to 1.2 seconds. He's gained another 3/10 on Robin. So, really see Matthew not letting him get away with this race. And we'll just have to see if Alex can come into the picture as well. As Matthew actually sets the fastest lap. So, not knowing if Robin's made a little bit of a mistake there, but Matthew just got a bit more pace than Robin right now. As Eduardo's coming for a wing change, so not quite sure what happened to him at the start, but I think it might have been him between him and Ethan, because he's fallen back quite a bit as well. So something must have happened between those two. I'm not quite sure. So the only gap we've got really right now, or the closest gap we've got, March to Alex, where they're just coming through the third sector now. I'm just gonna see if we can. No, I can't. Right. Alright then. Alright. Be like that. So Robin's actually responded to Matthew gaining on him, so he's actually extending that gap out again to around 2.2 seconds, and then Alex actually closing in the gap to Matthew as well, and Albert only 9/10 or a second behind Banana Josh. So Alex has actually got that gap to under a second now, so he will have DRS going down this next straight. So Alex not hanging back either. He's got quite a lot. Looks like he's got quite a decent pace as well as Robin. So he's going to have DRS. He's going to use overtake as well. So he is gaining on Matt, but he won't be close enough to go for a dive, as Ethan is sitting consecutive fastest laps at the moment. As Albert's actually gone on, I just noticed he's gone on the mediums. She's about to make a move on Banana Josh. Yeah, actually gets that move done coming in the middle sector. Oh, I thought that might have been a catastrophic crash there for a second, but Josh goes extremely wide, and looks like Albert's got that move done unless Banana Josh can give something back. So Alex is only 3/10 behind Matthew at the moment, P2. And Robin often does the 3-second gap. And I'm guessing he will have a go at him down this straight into the hairpin. So knowing that, he will get this move comfortably done. Yeah, he's actually going to go down the inside into the hairpin, and it looks like he locks his tyre, but he gets the move done. Actually, I think it looks like Matthew might have gone for a little bit of a cutback line there, but gets the move done. So that's Alex up into P2, Matthew down to P3. These obviously these two Renaults having quite an up and down season. First few couple races they were, towards the back of the field, but now they're actually competing for podiums and good results. So it's nice to see their improvement throughout the season, as we only have one of them today. So on the soft tyre, you do want to be pitting about lap 13, lap 14 on for mediums, but for the ultras, as actually Marge has done, he's already pitted, so he'll be wanting to go for a 2-stop. So no one really fighting at the moment. The only gap is from Matthew to Alex. But Alex is pulling out that gap. And he's actually, looks like he might be gaining a little bit on Robin as well, so Alex showing his pace at the moment. Yeah, you can see Alex looks like he's the quicker man on track at the moment, but yeah, Robin, don't know if Robin's pushing fully or not, but he will obviously know that he's catching him, and if you want to see if he put the hammer down or not, but don't know if he's going full pace at the moment. Doesn't look like he is with the Arius burn. He's saving quite a bit actually, and Alex actually burning a lot more than him. It looks like Alex might have made a little bit of a mistake, because that gap was shot up from about 2.4 to 3 seconds in the space of about a sector. So it looks like Alex made a little bit of like a mistake coming for that last sector, or unless his tyres just are starting to drop off and Robin's starting to go and push a bit. So Albert is actually getting himself into podium positions here. If he can get past Matthew for P3, he is on the medium. So this could actually set him up quite nice for the race, or set him up quite nice for the end of the race. Only 8 tenths behind now, but we obviously saw Matthew having the pace at the start of the race, but it looks like it might be falling off a little bit. As you can see, he's getting caught by Albert on the mediums. So those mediums will be in prime life at the moment. Obviously, as those softs starting to drop out, and it looks like he will be looking for a move up into the hairpin. It's actually to defend to the inside. But it looks like he'll be looking to go for the outside. It is actually, he dives back down the inside, and it looks like Albert's going to try and get the cutback line, and they're going alongside. They're alongside. Albert's ahead, but Matthew's still there. They're actually going to switch. He's going to go around the outside, but it looks like Albert's done that move, and Matthew's down to P4 again. But yeah, Alex falling back a little bit now, because Robin's extending that gap for another 4 tenths of a second. So that's put the gap to 3.5 seconds. As I think that's the first time penalty of the race, as I'm actually going to check the time penalties at the moment. So Robin hasn't got any warnings. Alex has got 2 warnings. I've got 1 warning. Matt's got no warnings. Banana Josh got penalty. March has got 2 penalties actually. Ethan 1 warning. penalty for Eduardo. Yeah, that's it. And I think I've actually missed something down there for a penalty, actually. I'm not sure who it was for, but... it was actually, Ethan is coming up to the back of March here with P6, because obviously March starting on those ultra soft tyre made him pit, so he's fallen back a bit. So that has put Ethan into good position here for another position here, but saying that he had an incident at the start of the race and now he's fighting back is quite nice to see. Yeah, only 0.7 of a second separate them. As he does have DRS. The gap's actually 0.3 now. So he will be looking to make a move up into the hairpin. So he will DRS. If he is close enough, he will be looking to dive into the hairpin. But the thing is, he's actually going to do that. He's going to go down the inside. And he actually runs a bit deep, and then March gets a cutback line, and he's back ahead of Ethan. And he gets a 3-second time penalty for that as well. So obviously yesterday we finished our GD Sport Leagues with the Porsche Carrera Cup and the Toyota 86, as actually Ethan comes into the pits. I think he'll be checking on the mediums. So we finished the so we finished those two series yesterday, and then we finished Supercars couple weeks before that, so we will be moving on to Project Cars 2 for season 2 for Supercars, and then there's an Indy 500 series where that's going to be held by Owen and I think one of the Betts brothers. So then we still have the Toyota 86 and the Porsche Carrera Cup. So I think it starts, the new season for all of those categories starts around August, I don't know, August the 5th or something like that. I'm not quite sure the dates, but I know it's in August. So those will all be live streamed on Saturday, so we'll be having a full day live stream of those races. So I think they'll be covered by Brett Keenan throughout the whole weekend. And who is going to commentate Supercars, we don't know yet, but yeah. So obviously, us being in June at the moment, we've well, for me at least, I don't know if everyone else, but being in June, we're in the month of the release of 2019. Comes out on the 28th or 25th for those who got the Legend Edition. So for 2019, obviously we've had this 10 race season to make room for it, but we are going to have a month break so that the drivers can adapt to the game again, or adapt to the new game, and see what teams they want to go in. But obviously we still will only be having 3 categories. I'm assuming. I'll have to get word from Brett, but yeah. So it'll be interesting to see if drivers gets faster or slower in the new game. Because obviously, as we see in 2017, apparently Brett was a lot quicker in 2017 than he is in this game. So it's like that. So we'll have to see if anyone picks up their pace or loses pace. We'll just have to see. And obviously, the tyre compounds being a lot easier as well. It's not like they are hard in general, but a lot easier strategies for people. So at the moment we've got Albert leading. As Ethan's is the fastest lap of the race. We've got Albert leading, but he hasn't pitted yet because he started on the mediums. We have Robin effectively in P1, and then Alex in P2. Who was I? Albert was in P3. Effective P3. So Alex only 3.8 or 3.9 behind Robin at the moment. Well, don't know if he'll be looking to, or he will be looking to close that gap. But Robin holds a comfortable lead at the moment. Comfortable, effective lead. Obviously, Germany being one of those long races compared to the others, but 34 laps around Hockenheim must not feel long for the racers, but does for the commentators. So for Project Cars 2, if you haven't already, or if you have the game, then you might want to, or if you want to race, you can just go into ask Brett if you want to race in any of the categories. I think no, there's supercars who are for main tier supercar drivers, and then there's Super 2, and then Porsche, and then the 286, but and then the Indy 500 series, or IndyCar series, you can also sign up for as well, but you'll have to contact Owen, who's actually commentating F3 at the moment, for those details. Yeah, supercars, Brett Keenan was your champion. You won the title. So we didn't have a Super 2. 2086. I'm not quite sure who it was. I think it might have been Yevgeny or someone. I'm not quite entirely sure. And then yours truly, myself, getting the Porsche Carrera Cup as well. And obviously Project Cars do having a more realistic feel for the in general, rather than GT Sport being more of an arcade game rather than Project Cars, because Project Cars is a lot more difficult than GT Sport, so it gives it a bit more of a more realistic feel, especially in the Enduro races, switching from night to day and rain, snow, whatever you name, it'll be in Project Cars, and that's really the main reasons why we've gone there next season. Because it's a bit more advanced and realistic, and just overall just a better game than, or my opinion, for racing in general. I'm guessing, well, I'm not guessing, but what I think is it's better than GT Sport. But yeah. So if you are interested, you can contact Brett Keenan for more details if you want to register. But yeah, looking forward to that season, and yeah. As actually Bernardo Josh is only 3/10 behind Ethan. Oh, as Eduardo's out the race, so I don't know where he's gone off, as he actually gets past. Wait, I think he might have led him through, but yeah, not. Alex still keeping that gap within about round 4, 3.8 seconds. And then Albert sitting fastest laps of the race, so he's on a push. Obviously, he's on the faster soft tyre, which is newer and quicker than the mediums that both Robin and Alex are on. So he'll want to be looking he looks like he's actually on a charge at the moment. So he could actually get his way up into P2, or maybe the race lead if he's lucky, as you can actually see Alex in the distance. Only 2.7 seconds separate them. So yeah, Albert really pushing at the moment. Just starting on the mediums actually isn't too bad, to be honest, but so Albert, flying at the moment, is just reeling in Alex. He's just flying at the moment, and you can see, because he's using overtake down that straight, just wanting to get everything out of that car. And that gap from about this time last lap was about 3.4 seconds, and now it's already jumped down to 1.9. So he's on the charge. Actually, I'm going to check the penalties at the moment between Alex and Albert. Alex hasn't got a penalty. Albert's got a penalty. And Robin's only got one warning. So Robin doing quite well there to stay out of penalties. He's actually got DRS, Albert. And then Ethan is only second behind Matthew. It's actually 19s actually now. But we're going to focus on this battle for P2 at the moment. Or as Albert nearly gets his car into the fence. That would have definitely been a warning there by Albert, for sure. I don't know if he's going to actually make a move up to the hairpin. No, that looks like he's... Oh, actually, no, he's going to go down the inside. So that's a late move by Albert, and he's going to try and get that move done. But Alex is still there. He's still up his gearbox. I mean, he's going to try to go around the outside, but he defends slightly. And it looks like Albert's done that move perfectly. So he's gotten past Alex, but he will need to get that gap to around 3 seconds for him to keep that P2. It's just a matter of fact, can he catch Robin? Who's just having his race of his own at the moment. But Alex will have DRS now coming onto this back straight. But he's too far back to even make a move. That gap's actually shooting down. As Alex actually gets a 3-second time penalty. So Albert is now effectively in P2. Or is actually in P2 now. Because Alex has got a 3-second. So that's really not helped Alex in trying to keep that P2. If he wants P2, we'll have to get past Albert. As that gap's actually shooting down, it's gone from 2.6 about 4 seconds to 2.6. So Albert really showing his pace at the moment on these softs. Now Albert he needs to be a bit conservative, because if he keeps track extending, he will get another penalty, like what he just did before. And if he does get another penalty, that will put him behind Alex. And Alex is actually doing quite a good job to only stay within about 9/10 of him. He's actually got to a second now. And he actually doesn't have DRS, so... As I've said that, Ethan's gotten past Matthew, so Matthew's just falling down the order at the moment, having a really good start, but it is just falling back. So Albert nearly getting that gap under 2 seconds. He's doing a very good job at reeling it, Robin in at the moment, but we'll just have to see if that'll be enough for a race win, because Robin doesn't have any penalties, but Albert does have a 3 second, and Alex has a 3 second as well. So these front three ahead of the field by 20 seconds to Ethan. So I think into the 2019 game, we're going to be having a sprint mode through the whole calendar. I think it's I think it's on the first weekend of the game release. So Brett is going to be setting up a sprint mode for whoever wants to join. So that will consist throughout the weekend, I'm guessing. So we're gonna be doing the whole calendar. But yeah. So if any of you are interested, just get Brett. And I think we might be having one towards the end of this game as well, to salute it off. We'll just have to see if Cody's fix their game next year, or for in 2019. So Albert has got that gap. He has DRS now on Robin. So Albert just really reeling in Robin at the moment, as Robin's actually not using any ERS at the moment, and he will know that Albert does have a penalty. It's just a matter of, does he let him through, and him having to keep within 3 seconds of him, letting him get away, or trying to keep him behind and let Alex come up as well. Oh, Albert gets another 3 second. So that's really putting him back now. If he does want to get this race win, he will need to get that gap to 6 seconds and able to win this race. And if he can just stay within 3 seconds of Alex, then he will keep P2. going to jump on board him now. We'll have to see if he gets close enough to make a move up into the hairpin. I don't think he will be though. We'll just have to see if Albert can get this, can get Robin for P1. And that gap has just gotten to 3 seconds between Albert and Alex. We'll just have to see if he gets close enough now to see if he can make a move up at the hairpin. He's actually going to go for it. He's going to try to go down the inside. And Robin has done beautifully there to hold him off and going around the outside. Oh, they're getting a bit close there. Albert trying to go around the outside, but Robin defends. Coming into this last sector now, as we approach the last lap of the race. Looks like Robin has actually got this one sealed here. As we start the final lap here of this German Grand Prix. We'll have to see if Albert makes a move. But Robin doing beautifully to hold him off. I think he's just going to go for it. No, he's not. March gets a 3 second, but that won't really affect him because he is running P7. So only 2 retirements in this race. We come through the last couple of corners as Robin Kreff comes across the line and he's going to win the German Grand Prix, and then Albert follows him in P2, and then Alex gets P3. And then the rest of the field, another 20 seconds behind. Well, Ethan is 20 seconds behind Alex. So, That win extends Robin's championship lead out. As Ethan will come home, Matt will come home in P5. Bernard Josh will come in P6, his best result of the season, and then March will come in P7. So we'll get our top 3 in the party. Robin, Alex. So we have Albert, so we'll start with you, Albert. So Albert, you got P2 on the race, considering that you had a quali ban coming into the race, but looks like you had some tremendous pace on those softs, enabling you to reel in Alex, and if you didn't have any penalties, contest for the race win.
Wow, I mean, I don't know where does the space come from, but really happy overtake all the rest of the field, really green. I mean, just what a race! One of my favorite races I've ever had. I mean, if I hadn't got that penalties, maybe I would have won the race. But I'm really happy with my P2.
Yeah, so that is definitely a good result from you, considering you didn't have a qualifying, but yeah, so good job, and I think next round is Italy, so we'll see you next weekend. So we'll go to Alex, P3 for you. You had an alright qualifying, but you managed to pull it back in the race, gaining a couple positions at the start, and you were just sitting comfortably in P2 throughout most of the race, and then I was seeing Albert on the charge, taking P2 from you. Yeah, good a podium, but yeah, pretty decent result from you.
Yeah, it was a pretty mediocre race, to be honest. The pace was good, but it wasn't great, and just I was maintaining the gap to Robin a little bit faster, and I didn't actually, I didn't think I was going to get past there, but I was begging the thing that maybe they would get more penalties, they could better a little bit, get me into the thing, but what I tried to use the DRS to propel me, but of course it was a little bit too fast for me. But yeah, just alright race. I guess nothing really went wrong. Building some points, so I guess a good stuff for the weekend. It could have been P2, maybe even first place if we had a little bit more pace, but it is what it is.
Yeah, obviously we saw you having quite good pace at the start of the race, but it started to fall off a little bit, but yeah, podium for you, but yeah, we'll see you next weekend. So Robin, another race win for you, taking advantage of that carnage at turn 1 with the virtual safety car made you gain a bit of a gap. But really, you had a race of your own today, quite lonely, except for those last few laps where Albert started to reel you in a bit. If you can hear me.
Yeah. It was a mostly lonely race. I knew that Albert was on an alternative strategy because of his qualifying ban, and he started on the mediums. So I was checking him where he was, and I was checking the gap between him and me, how fast he came, and I was saving all my ERS and fuel for if he attacks me. But I knew he had 6 seconds of penalties, and I'm very happy now to win on track. In France I won, but I didn't feel like a win. This feels much better.
Yeah, so this race win does extend your championship lead. I'm not quite sure how many points, but it does extend it. I think it might be in about, I don't know, 15 points or so. But yeah, so congratulations on the race win, and we'll see you next weekend.
Thank you.
So that concludes our coverage of the TNF1 F2 category for the German Grand Prix, and we'll see you next weekend for the Italian Grand Prix. Obviously F1 being at 10 o'clock. I think it's in about 40 minutes from now, so make sure you tune in then, and we'll see you next weekend. Sign out from the Combox, Josh Banks, and we'll see you next weekend.